working from home like this, apart from that probably impacting your concentration, it's also really, really bad for your neck, for your back, for your whole spine. Sitting like that or lying like that for long periods of time will also end up distorting a natural, healthy posture that you have. So that's why you see so many people that even when they're not sitting down will have their neck forwards, like have this forward neck posture, or just rounded shoulders and not be able to stand up straight and stand up properly. And when you're much older, it's actually harder to change that posture and you may never go back to having a fully straight spine. But if you're in your 20s or 30s, you should really focus on correcting it to ensure that you can maintain really good posture. Because on the lower end of the spectrum, you can end up getting headaches or just getting some neck pain or some back pain, but it can also lead to more extreme things like herniated discs or bulging discs, which are way more serious, but actually becoming more and more common. So it's not surprising, since a lot of us started working from home and our environment may not be as ergonomic, it may not be as well set up to help us maintain good posture, but there are a few little things that you can do to make your workstation better and also to train the muscles to go back to their normal, healthy position. Let's get to it. Hey there and welcome back to my channel. My name's Eva and I'm a career coach and customer success director on a mission to help people build meaningful careers. And today's video comes from a conversation I was having with a colleague of mine about the neck pain that we've been feeling from working from home. So I started to look into what you can actually do to relieve some of the tension that you have in the back of your neck and to maintain really good posture when you're working from home, because it's really easy to slouch, and if you don't have the best setup, here are some of the simple things that you can do to improve that and make sure you don't end up with nerd neck. The first thing you can do to maintain good posture at work is to become, as my colleague put it, an ergo freak. And that just put disco in my head. Ergo freak, ergo freak, ergo freak, ergo freak, ergo freak, ergo freak. There are so many gizmos you can buy to ensure an ergonomic workplace, but if you're not able to afford them, there are just some basics of having a good workstation set up. And you can have some alternatives if you can't afford to buy all of this stuff with things you probably have lying around the house. So let's get started with what your workstation should look like. So first of all, when you're sitting down, you should make sure that your knees are at the same level as your hips, or maybe even a little bit lower is fine. You want to make sure that your screen is not too far down from your eye level. So if you can't prop it up, of course you can get a stand to prop it up and then have a separate keyboard, but to make sure that you're not constantly looking down, like when you're texting and leaning your neck forward again, you can just prop it up on a stack of books, or in this case it's cereal boxes. So be creative, anything you have to pop it up. Now, in theory, your arms should also be at around 90 degrees and you shouldn't have to be leaning too far forward. So make sure you tuck your chair in a little bit so that you can have your elbows down here. Now, I'm looking at the screen for calls for a long time rather than typing a huge amount. So if you're typing, you want to make sure that your shoulders aren't coming too far forward and you're having to lean up. But to be honest, a lot of desks in the city were actually designed with 6-foot-tall men in mind, which means I've got used to actually having to have my arms a little bit higher. So it doesn't bother me, but the ideal position is to actually just have another keyboard so that you can have your arms at this kind of 90-degree level and then have your screen at eye level as well. But again, these are just some adjustments that you can make. Now, throughout the day, when you're trying to get closer to the screen, you'll probably find yourself leaning forward. So you want to try and just remind yourself to not lean forward into the screen, not slouch, and maybe just reminding yourself to do a few shoulder rolls throughout the day and bring yourself back to a good position. The next part of having good posture and having a good workstation is just having some support for your lower back. So you might be able to purchase a really great chair that gives you all of that support. But if you just have a regular chair, honestly, just a pillow. You can literally just pop a pillow behind to make sure that you have some support for your lower back and get cracking. Find whatever you can to make some adjustments to make sure that you are staying comfortable when you're working. So that's it on the workstation, and it's definitely a really important start. But even with the best workstation, you can find yourself slouching a number of times. So I've got 2 super simple exercises to help you build some strength in the front of your neck that you're often not using because it's just leaning forward and putting all the tension on the back of your neck, and also to give you some relief and a really nice stretch. So the very first exercise is a double chin tuck. And that's how you're going to remember it. I mean, they're just called chin tucks if you want to look them out, but it's double chin. That's what you need to think, and that's going to get you to get the right motion. So with everyone's head kind of leaning forward, this is the position you're probably used to from like looking at your phone all day, or like looking at a screen or driving, or whatever it is you're doing. You want to make sure that you're occasionally bringing your chin back and your head and your neck back into that neutral position. So for chin tucks, you want to give yourself a double chin, but without looking down. So you want to make sure that you're staying at eye level, and then you want to push your neck back. See? Oh, double chin. All right, so I'll show it from the side as well. So if you're here and you're kind of leaning forward, this is the normal position. Start by rolling your shoulders back so that they're in the right position, because if they're forward, then you might already be here. But roll the shoulders back, put them back and down in a nice position, and then just push your chin back. And you can actually use your thumb and index finger to overstretch and give that a bit more tension. I know it looks super attractive. Everyone is really enjoying this now, but I'm gonna have great posture when I'm 90, so I recommend you try it. So physios really recommend this exercise, and you should do it for around 10 to 15 reps, or you could hold them a little bit longer for 10 seconds and then maybe just do 3 or 4. So you can actually do these sitting down while you're at work, but your colleagues might think it's a little bit weird if you're sitting there doing this, which is fine. But you can do them lying down. You can actually probably apply a bit more pressure that way. And you want to make sure that you're not feeling any serious, sharp, stabby pains. If you do, then definitely go see a doctor. But you should just feel a nice stretch at the back of your neck. And this is also strengthening all the muscles here at the front. So you just want to be tucking your chin in without looking down. So you don't want to do this. You don't want to look up. Just back. Hold it for a few seconds and back out, and go again, shoulders back, push back and in. I think this is so entertaining that it deserves a 10-second dance break. Don't forget your double chin tucks to counteract that forward head position. And then the next bit is really just your spine. If you're always in that hunch position with your back, how can you counteract that as well? And that brings me on to the second exercise, which is just your thoracic spine extensions. And these feel amazing. You can combine them with some rolling your shoulders, but once you get a chance to get away from the desk, this is what you can do. Now, your best bet, if you have one, is to use a foam roller. But I'm being resourceful now because I don't have a foam roller here. So it's just a stretch that you can do on your back, which feels really amazing. Now, I don't have a foam roller, so I have wrapped a pillow in a towel. So I've just packed it in tightly so it's definitely elevated off the floor. So if you just sit with your back, and what you want to bring is your upper back down onto the pillow. So just find the best position in order to bring the right height of your back onto the pillow. And what you want to do is just lean back, and you can use your arms to give you a bit more of a stretch. And this just feels amazing. And breathe. And this just feels really nice to make your, just to straighten out your spine and actually curve your back the right way. You can also bring your arms behind your head. This will also give you a little bit of a shoulder stretch. You can alternate the arms if you want to stretch the other shoulder. And then what's really nice to do here, after you've stayed here for a good 30 seconds and enjoyed that extension, is to also just turn slightly side to side. You can bring your arms here, but this will give you a nice stretch, especially if you've got a foam roller just across your back. And you can move a little bit lower as well, just to make sure that you're getting the right extension everywhere. And it will feel really, really nice after you've had a long day, kind of hunched over at your desk, just bringing you into that nice stretched position. Totally normal if your back cracks as well when you're doing that. I get a million clicks. Final mini tip from me is to get your friends to remind you when you're slouching so that you can improve your posture. Don't go around telling people to stand up straight because they might find that annoying if they don't want to hear it. But if it's friends that you trust and you can help each other to do that, just remind them to have great posture, because it's really going to do wonders for your spine, just like help any headaches and any pains that you have in your back. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope you enjoy some stretching, and I hope the next time I'm in an office I see a load of people doing double chin tucks. Thanks so much for watching and have a great week.